And if not a hero, he's a criminal. Shut up!
Hello, everybody. It's me, your buddy, or should I just say hello, Snorty, and whoever else is out there across the platforms. Absolutely everybody is on tonight. So, welcome to a show that I guess we'll call it Admiral Teag Gets Absolutely Murdered. We've got everything else going on. So, if you're here with me, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I still have a quality show for you guys. So, don't worry, have no fear. It's good to see you, Snorty, looking over behind my shoulder, keeping the runner on second from going to third. I see that Rumble's not. I'm sorry, I said the bad word already. What do you call it? That we don't have any interaction from X yet. And let's see if the green machine has fired up into working, and it doesn't look good. I spent a while today trying to get whatever the hell was wrong with Rumble unmessed up, and oh wow, no, I'm there. Okay, I'm on Rumble now. So let's see. I'm burning bright on both channels on Rumble. There's like one person on each. Wherever you are, give me a thumbs up. It's cumulative on this service. What I found out is I have 81 followers on Saving Star Trek's channel over there, and then on the channel that's just the regular channel, the average channel. There are like 183 or something like that. There's a lot of followers on the regular Saving Star Trek channel on Bumble. So that's a good thing. And so I think probably some of them are overlapped, but I looked at it. Something like 60 of the 81 people on the smaller channel are are sub to only the smaller channel. And then if we look, what happens is if you click on the regular Teag icon, you get to it takes you to the Saving Star Trek show channel. So what we've got going on here is a multicast going on over at Rumble, where I spoke to my buddy FSG the other day. Fat Steven Seagal, he's great, JFG Gaming, advising me on how to get along on this. Hey, Rocco the Brave, thanks for all the it was fun talk on Twitter. We'll take that up in a minute. You know what? I had time to think on this one. I think the knock-on effect. Rocco, myself, and Ensign Rusher, Obi-2 Wrath of Kenobi. We had a discussion on X, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was one of those discussions you want to have about nerddom. And it was, what organization has Samuel L. Jackson led worse? The Jedi Order, or I fucked up, I wrote SHIELD. And there goes monetization. I wrote SHIELD, right? So I should have written SHIELD/Avengers. So because it's only, I wrote Avengers rather. I should have written SHIELD/Avengers because it's only Avengers. Hey, Lombardi 1969, it's good to see you. Little sip of Coca-Cola. I got some stories for you. I'm shouting everybody out. Give it a minute, let people come through the door. But I am going, yeah, Rocco's right. Here's the thing. A lot of my people, Rocco, now really despise YT, if you know what I'm talking about. They despise the red-colored one. So they only will deal with the green one. I'm about to, if I can get my hours over there, there's like a decent amount, not life-changing, but in my circumstance now, like I'll take it over there for me from the green people, that people will not put money through Google anymore. So the one over on the green machine is just, that's sort of a courtesy to people. Like if you want to make a principled opposition for it, we give people that option. A lot of people, they got a lot of problems with, with YouTube. And it's good to see Snorty. It's good to see Lombardi 1969. It's good to see Rocco the Brave. The question we were talking about on X with Rocco and Obi-2 was, I said that I thought that Samuel L. Jackson, there was a case to be made. Did he do a worse job as Mace Windu running the Jedi, or the worst job as what do you call it, as the head of SHIELD, Nick Fury? So I would point out that since Nick Fury has taken over at SHIELD, they had great assets in flying aircraft carriers, and also, he's changed the story about what happened to his eye 2 or 3 times. So not too cool in the MCU at all anymore. He's a liar. He's an idiot. He has a girlfriend that can turn into any form asks her to, but she chooses to appear as a frumpy 70-year-old woman. Don't ask me why. I would say look like, Sydney Sweeney, any pinup girl, whatever, whichever one you like the most this month. Red One are getting way too many bots, much like the tweet machine, lots of bots. Um, Red One, are you saying that I'm getting them? Or I'm not getting a lot of them. Are you saying? Oh, you saying on X? Yeah, there's been some botting going on X. I think what happened was they tried to clean it out, and what happens is people now know that Elon's going to try to like deal with these bots. So what happens is Bot 2.0 is under design right now, right? It's got all sorts of stuff that they don't have, a countermeasure to. So what they're doing is they're waiting for Bot 1.0 to be slain, and it gets slain, and then Bot 2.0 launches. Now that doesn't include. They have to also swat all the false engagement and fake bots and stuff like that people bought from the bot salesman, who's the guy who offered the bots freely and openly on the open market. It was a nice guy, but I didn't want them. By bots on that one, I mean accounts that will either you can buy several levels of technology there. You want to stay away from that, man. Once you start down that road, forever will dominate your destiny, and one day your number's just going to go away. My show's numbers aren't the top numbers, but for one man with no panel who doesn't have a lot to say about how you should live your lives, and I'm sticking to that. You know what? I don't know what it's going to end. I was a little frustrated today, but not about any one given thing, but about the enormity of it, how long we've been so deeply political. It's been like 30 weeks of people just really focusing on it, and I don't think it's wrong, but it's getting tiresome to me. But let's just go back to this one. Nick Fury, he does a pretty bad job. He lies. He's an idiot for Captain Marvel. He does a bunch of things that no one can respect him for. It's bad. It's not good. It's absolutely bad. As I pace around the stage, this is what I call pacing. I don't pace my show well, but I pace around my studio. And there you see a quick piece. Let's see. Snorter Pooper says, early and annoying in Bearland. Oh, no. Early and annoying day in Bearland. Early bedtime. Well, hey, I hope you can hang out with us a little while longer. But this is hibernation time for all but polar bears, which is weird. Polar bears, what do they hibernate in summer? Are they like Mascus? Hey, buddy Hepburn, good to see you. If Mace Windu had trusted Anakin, such mistakes would not have been made. If Mace Windu had busted open the change purse and said, I made a tactical decision here, motherfuckers. We got a bunch of people on a planet. They're not acting too cool. And also, we got a spontaneous force generating chick out there. She just generates chosen ones left and right. She's just generating chosen ones. She just had one spontaneously the other day. Master Qui-Gon found this kid out of nowhere, and he told me that this chick told him that she just had a baby out of nowhere. I sense the dark side on this one, man. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. So here's what I'm going to do. You big-headed guy who's going to get de-aged and destroyed in the accolade. Do we have any money in petty cash? We have 5,000 Republic credits. No, we need something more substantial, according to the reports. We have like 200,000 corporate sector hectares. Good, okay, take them. Go, I want you to buy this person, this woman, this Shmee lady. I hear that terrible things happen to her. Hashtag Shmee too. Get that trending. Get everyone on our side with this one. I sense the dark side. But here's the thing. What if she just has another kid? What if we were lucky that they were out there in Naboo, which is kind of, it's on a trade route, but I think it's off the beaten path, ain't it? And if I could send the Death Star back for one more planet, let me tell you. But that's a different story. Different story. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. It's kind of comedy and a little lighthearted fun we want to have here. And howdy, buddy. It's like, so we get Mace Windu talking to Yoda and Obi-Wan about how he doesn't trust Anakin and how not a Jedi he is. What would make Qui-Gon, Padme, and Jar Jar Binks the three wise? Would that make Qui-Gon, Jar Jar Binks, and Padme the three wise men? Well, two wise men and one wise Portman. Hey, Alternative World Sorcerer Assistants, good to see you. Guys, listen, do me a favor. Tweet out that I'm live. Also, this early in the stream, I'll say this. And you know what? Here's a little tip for all you other creators out there. after the stream, comment on it, and don't just comment. Hit refresh first. It counts it as a different engagement. It really helps me out. It's we're starting to really grow a little bit. We're not killing it on Saturday, unfortunately, and I'm afraid to look at the YouTube number right now, but it seems to be creeping up. And I do have some stories for you today. I got something fun stuff, guys. Fun stuff. All right, let's start out with the transnational robberies. It's bad stuff, crime. Let's see. We can't tolerate this. We've got this crazy stuff going on. And let me tell you, when they send us their transnational criminals, they're not sending their best anymore. A lot sure happens on Tatooine, considering if there's a bright center of the universe, you're on the planet as farthest from. Yeah, and on Jakku, that really is nowhere, as Luke Skywalker confirmed. So, like, they make a duplicate Tatooine. And then I saw Script Trooper. I like Script Trooper stuff, man. He's a good X-follow. And his video was kind of long, but he if you're really into Star Wars, it's big. Like, well, not big, but it's a good piece that's like it's about as long as you'd want it to be from a Star Wars perspective. I wasn't that into it after a little while. I thought he made his points well though, and then he just elaborated on them. It was a valid like 20-minute thing, but I got it in about 10. I thought it was good. It was that he talked about the comic books and how they tried to create a Battle of Jakku to try to make it have meaning and nail it into their world. But check this one out. In the world of 2025, what happens is this. If you go somewhere and you are being, somewhat secretive, or you are go somewhere and you're being somewhat public, or one than the other, there are different sets of circumstances that will happen to you. And what happens is this: nobody's afraid of technology, and no one's anything but an idiot anymore. Like, some of these things are really brazen. What happens is this: something called the Transnational Criminal Organization, and names were all over the map as far as last names. So it did sound like at least 2 or 3 different groups of people were involved in this. Is the only way to put it. Like, when the Giants leave town, they would rob the Giants' houses. When the Mets leave town, they would rob the Mets' houses. When the Dodgers left town, they would rob the Dodgers' houses. They were doing it to NFL players or something like that. It got to the NFL. Hey, let's see. The sequel trilogy sucks, and I dislike it with such a passion. That's putting it politely. You know what, Dan? I gotta say, I agree with you, my bad. I do not like the... I do not like the regular Star Trek. I'm sorry, the regular. I do not like the sequel trilogies. I do not like what they did to the regular characters. I did not like the subversion of the law. I did not like how unfun and uncool it was. And I didn't like the way that they sort of abused our intelligence. When you listen to J.J. Abrams spell something out, he's completely unaware. Like, he doesn't have the competence to gauge normal IQ. He has maybe like a slightly higher IQ than some people, but it's like a million blind spots, so it's not effective. Like, for composing a shot, a high IQ. For getting a production done on time, a high IQ. For being good, below average. For having a story make sense, below average. For glossing over your bad story with a coat of gloss that's going to have people loving it, that's actually, you're going to do well with that one. He can pull that one off. Don't ask me why people like it. But, he tends to reboot things. And didn't South Park say he was going to reboot his baby? And let's see. I got to agree with you here on this one, though. In the prequel trilogy, sometimes the movies are a little bit bad, but especially with Attack of the Clones, people really don't like it. I don't hate it as much as other people, but the movies can be a little bit bad in the sequel trilogy, in the prequel trilogy. But, like, we could say if we corrected for the bad acting, which comes and goes, and we corrected for some of these other things, we would have a valid version of a movie. Like, you could fix all 3 movies. You could fix them. Cut some things out, make them go a little, pace them a little faster, and you would have something there. But you can't really fix the sequels. So here we go. Interesting stuff coming to us courtesy of NBC News. I think this is their NBC News Now is only on the internet these days. So here we go.
The judge is ordering them to be held in custody until their trial.
Oh, okay, so these are the men who were grabbed up in this. There's some weird NBC music playing, like it's like weird jazz, like saxophone solo ambient shit. It's really weird. But so I didn't want to play that. That might be copyrightable. But Here it is. They caught these guys trying to fence the goods. They're from all over the place, and you'll see pictures of them. They're total douchebags.
Is pulling their bail. The judge is ordering them to be held in custody until their trial in August. The two men were arrested Tuesday at a New York City pawn shop. Both are pleading not guilty. And
I would imagine the pawn shop is involved in this one, guys. You know what I mean? Like, and as you can see, they do some good. The FBI is in there. Did J.J. Abrams write Into Darkness? If so, that was a point where I saw him as a hack. Here's the thing. I think what happens is he becomes super lazy, and that's when the Rings of Power writers become his writers. So that's why that's so bad. So his name's on it, man. He's the director. He called the shots. He had script control. He took that story. He accelerated to Khan. He could have done a Space Seed movie and had some drama in it, but instead he fast forwards to Khan, and he's out over his skis, and it's a bad movie. It's just a bad movie. He writes a little of it, but what he has is the Rings of Power people. They are in the story group for that one, and they put together most of that so that he can what he does is he does that because he's so lazy and so afraid. What he does is he brings on people that he knows have less talent than him, and he thinks that he can thread it together better. But, garbage in, garbage out. These people have no talent. You've seen the Rings of Power. And if that was canceled for USAID, people should stop protesting against restoring it. Stop protesting about restoring it now. Like, the world's better off without that. Yeah, with lots of, you can fix it with a lot of, kaboom boom. You know what? Let's just see the rest of the story. So these guys are striking celebrities.
we are getting new details about these pictures taken by men who are...
Look at these douchebags. Now, I'm assuming the pawn shop owner is most likely in on it, unless he's the hero who called the police. Don't quote me.
believed to be a part of a transnational criminal organization. Federal prosecutors
Transnational criminal organization.
are providing this new image allegedly taken by one of the men as they broke into the home of Cincinnati Bengals QB Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's got a nice house.
In December. NBC's Tom Winter is joining me now. Tom, the FBI is taking the situation pretty seriously, it seems.
The bling ring. Thank you, mainstream media, for that, huh? Wow, crazy stuff.
Right? What other new details are we getting?
Yeah, so seriously that Brian Driscoll, the acting director of the FBI, and boy, he's had quite a week, Tom, actually had time to sit down.
Welcome to work.
Put together a podcast and put out a statement this afternoon talking about these transnational.
That's interesting that the FBI director would communicate via podcast, but it almost makes sense. It almost makes sense. Actually, it makes total sense. It's just, I guess it's almost acceptable now. I guess this is how we do things.
National criminal organizations, which translated from law enforcement speak.
Let me fix that. It is acceptable, but clearly it's becoming commonplace now. We're going to communicate this way. So let's take a look.
Our language that we use every day are groups of criminals that operate with other criminal groups on multiple continents. And that's exactly what we have here. The late details today is that the two men, so you have a group that steals the stuff, according to federal prosecutors in the FBI.
Now, this story, if anyone's confessed or anything, I'm only caught up to about a day ago. I didn't get to finish reading on it, so I don't think they will. So this is as current as it gets. They're sitting rotten in jail in New York City, I believe, is where we got them.
And then you have a group that sells the stuff. And two of the men that were picked up earlier this week, just 2 blocks from where I'm sitting, fencing, basically taking the stolen goods and then selling it back out for proceeds and paying everybody out. The two of those individuals, you're looking at them here in court.
Okay, so they're accusing them of fencing, but these guys are older than the douchebag criminals by a lot, at least judging by these courthouse sketches. And in New York, do we not have the best courthouse artists? They deny it, but I think that Cumberbatch and Eve were originally intended to be Gary Mitchell and Elizabeth Danner. They might have been able to craft the movie. Yeah, if they adhered closely to those old scripts. What's up, my man? John the Beagle Dad is going to be seeing William Shatner soon on the set of the original Enterprise. Well, it's the sanctioned recreation, and he'll meet Mr. Shatner there, and I believe get a picture with him. So he's a little dizzy from that one. Everybody, let's go put some clap emojis or something up there for our buddy, man. Like, he's gonna meet the Shat. I mean, that's big time stuff, guys.
court Juan Villar and Dmitry Nijinsky. Both of them, in the case of Villar, was actually out on bail. And
so like Villar and Dmitry Nowitzki, it says to Nijinsky, that seems to be, I guess, people meet up in New York, right? Because, there's a melting pot. So they were always criminals and they had a common interest, seems to be the best guess. Occam's razor on this one.
The other gentleman was due to be out on bail, and the judge says, look, we're not going to go for that. He says,
I can't go for that.
Effectively, he would be releasing them 2 days.
No can do. And this was the reason the biggest reason not to give them bail is because there were scumbags who would have fled, but here we go.
Before the Super Bowl, to put in his words, to be out there for a Super Bowl of an opportunity, which is that you have women and children at home, they're men, high profile athletes at this big game, and you're giving them essentially an opportunity
I hear what he's saying.
to go back
the
out
risk
and work
is
with
there.
those criminals, and he wasn't going to have it. He said, in the quote is, no thank you, Tom. So both of those are going to be held pending this trial in August.
Yeah, fuck these people.
You know, Tom, I was looking forward to running into you in the hallway because I wanted to ask you anyway, does this go beyond the NFL? In other words, you got famous rock stars that are on the road, and you got television personalities on the road, or that they're in the studio at a certain time. Does this go beyond these professional athletes?
It absolutely does, Tom. And just as actually we were coming back from the commercial break, the FBI in New York now putting out a notice and asking for anyone who thinks that they might have been a victim of these transnational organizations, which have ties to Chile and to Colombia, to contact.
So look at that, man! Like 6 different NFL and NBA athletes, the sports that are in season. So it didn't make it to baseball season. Baseball season just started. The baseball players got to be like, "Whoo, we just dodged a bullet, huh?"
Contact the FBI here in New York if they think that they had items that were stolen that have been since merchandise, to contact the
So those are the people who are robbed, and they're going to see if they can get some of their swag back. But crazy, right?
FBI as well. It does.
By the way, I just bought a fantastic Super Bowl ring the other day on the street down by 10th Avenue.
Just showed a number of high-profile athletes who've been victimized in the course of this. NFL, NBA, NHL, all sorts of different leagues being targeted, those players. And of course, they post things on social media, and that's been clamped down. And then, of course, the information about where they are is out there. You know which team is on the road at any given point.
That's just crazy. Think about the level of danger involved for your family. NHL players, wow. So
league schedule, and any of us can pull it up on any phone or device. So, this poses a potential problem. But given how large of a scope this is, the hub here in New York, Florida connections, the stuff that's going on in the Midwest, Tom, I think this is going to get a lot bigger from here.
Bigger. Okay.
Wow.
Tom Hunter, thanks very much.
Thanks for watching.
That was so, guys. What do you think of that crazy stuff, huh? Is anybody shocked though? He's at your GalaxyCon this year, so you could get to see him there. That'd be awesome to see him twice. Documentary on that Tom Brady jersey is crazy. The guy just walks in and out multiple times over the years and has so much swag. Was it like someone who worked at the stadium or something just kept stealing his stuff? I think this rings a bell. I don't remember that one very well though. And let's see how it's going over on the Green Machine. Anybody over there can give me a like. That would be very helpful. I would appreciate it very much. And hey, you know what? That's how we build and grow the channel. It's good to see people sort of starting to filter in. We're getting there. You know what? That was today's biggest story. The other story is this. Some stuff is coming together that has to do with the channel. First of all, let me promote the biggest dedicated ongoing Star Trek watch party. We're going to be watching Enterprise. This week is Marauders, and another exciting episode of Star Trek Enterprise. Even if the episode's not great, the watch party always is. You got me, Sean Carter, and JT Kirk, and it's going to be a freaking blast. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to enjoy that episode. And I'm looking forward to it. So think about that one. I'll also be back on Thursday, where who knows? It's hard to tell which show does better, but all of you who come through later, thank you very much. watching for an average of 37 minutes when you come through later. Is it all everybody goes and watches the parts of the show they missed? If so, I gotta say thank you from the bottom of my heart for validating me as interesting. I guess we'll just say we're up to 2154 subscribers. It's the Yellowstone people. I don't know what's going to mean for watch parties for Yellowstone, but the Yellowstone content all doing very well. Last year's watch parties, it's crazy. For the longest time, the Yellowstone watch parties were people that were just thinking that you would have 1923 right on YouTube, right? So the engagement time wasn't very long, but then it became an absurd number. And then I looked at something I didn't look at before, and it was how many people joined. And like on any given one of the Yellowstone 1923 watch parties or 1883 watch parties, if a watch party is like a year old, if it's the one from Yellowstone 1, you're talking like each one of those 10 watch parties has like anywhere from 4 to 12 to 15 people joining. And it's happening in the last 2 or 3 months. It's been a real boon. And it's great. And I don't know how those people feel about live streaming or anything but the watch parties. I just don't. But we'll find out. And there's certainly more people, which is great. We have put on a bunch of people who just don't seem to engage live but love the uploads. If you do, that's your thing. But if you're lurking, this would be a great time to interact. I love all of you. But we have people who like the upload content. The uploads are piling on subscribers like you wouldn't believe. Over on Rumble, we got like 300 people between the two channels, but we have to refire it a couple of times and see if we can't get that going again. And then over here on YouTube, I think this is the deal. I came on this as a media reviewer who was doing Star Trek sometimes and other stuff the rest of the time. Then we had a series of things happen, drag me strongly in the direction of Star Trek almost all the time, to the exclusion of everything else, and I started doing a lot of Star Trek work. Having the challenge and the honor to take over on Saturdays, what I did was I made the best decision I could. We made a quick light speed jump from the very end of Voyager, where who wants to pick up the story there, to the highly rated beginning of Enterprise, so that channel's journey could remain unfinished. That channel's journey is forever. It's eternal. And we pick up at Enterprise. And so there's no overlap, and it's not like a takeover. It's a new show. We moved from a very, 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 very good 7 to 10 o'clock time slot to 9:30. We absolutely shocked all of the original Admiral Teag subs into submission, especially the ones that had the military interests and the other stuff, the Westerns. They were just absolutely left without the shows that they were hooking on to. So here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to jump in there on Saturday, and I'm going to have to be pretty impactful getting this across. I'm going to have to do my best to do something for the Western people who like that stuff and the military people in the afternoon. And I could consider that one population, Western and military. And then on the other side, I have to go out there and find a way to serve my friends who, and a lot of people have just said like, F it on YT. They're not going to do anything on here. So I have to keep on trying to satisfy the people over on Bumble. God knows that's not too easy. But you know what? We'll see what gets done with that one. I still can't believe this crazy story about people boosting NFL players. I mean, the last people you want problems with, like, what the hell? Thank you very much, buddy. And yeah, guys, do me a favor. When you see new people in the chat, welcome them as fast as you can. Anyone who's looking to get mod responsibilities will have forever one level up opportunity, and whoever gets mod, when we pick it, like, we'll let you, like, you know, you'll get to be on the show once in a while. We'll do it, you know, and it'll be cool. But we have to find the right person, and we have to find a head mod who's more than ceremonial. The ceremonial head mods are the wonderful Carla Burton, and also we have some people out there who have some powerful wrenches, like Obi2 has a +1 wrench. I think Rocco has a +1 wrench, because I think we were all here at the Battle of 1207.24. Mark has a wrench just so he doesn't get deleted when we accidentally deleted him for a moment there. We had to go restore him from the Phantom Zone during that weird thing. But what are you gonna do? And Everybody, oh, someone's making a bid. All right, well, we'll have to think about this one. And it's nice to see it's filling up. It takes a little while. The first half hour of the show doesn't count, right? And what I've done is I have retained the AdSense, but I don't trigger it. That's my new thing. If I leave it on but don't trigger it, it seems to tell people I'm on, but it takes a while. It takes a lot longer to fire up the show than it used to. Now, I don't have the things on my side that Snow and other people do, which is, one, Snow is an awesome puppet maker, and he's maybe a little more talented than me all around, but I'll just give that up. Look at his sub count. It shows how he piled on all those people. And YouTube, I think, unfairly censored him. And you can all see, if you haven't jumped the turnstile with Admiral Teag, go to the member videos and jump the turnstile with Admiral Teag. You'll love it. It's very to the point. 3.5 minutes. I play music for you. It's just like, one's the story of the beginning of my life. I call it the origin tale. And then the older one was about what was going on with Snow. And by the way, I've noticed that everybody who watches the channel seems to watch the videos and the stream equally. Thank you so much for that. Especially if you watch the Star Trek live stream and the Star Trek uploads. And here's the thing, I certify for you from the bottom of my heart. And these Reddit numbers speak for themselves. These Reddit numbers are some of the most fantastic Reddit numbers you have ever seen. And we are getting suppressed here on YouTube. Okay, this is a problem. The success everywhere else belies what's going on YouTube. Look at this interest. Look at this interest on Brandon Sklenar. Now I have deleted the Reddits that have kicked me off because they want me to this is basically the deal. They want me to heavily interact with the people after I drop this, and some people will just flame your ass anyway, no matter how good it is or bad. So you just want out of there. You don't want to. But look at this, 152 upvotes in Treknobabble, okay? Treknobabble, when we go to their page, their top 5 posts are all from this community, so I can't make an upload until next week. But what's cool is Marauders, sort of not well regarded. We'll see if the conversation is worthy. I started in a little bit on the heat in my apartment's out half the day, but when it came back on, I started messing around a little bit. What else I was preparing for the show, also doing a little bit of preliminary time code writing. Time code notation for the episode of Star Trek we did last week, Enterprise episode, was it Dead Stop? I think it was Dead Stop. We had fun with the episode. We had a good time. It dovetails out of Minefield. Yeah, it was Dead Stop. Marauders, not as well regarded, but you know what? It'll be fun. And you know what? There are a lot of Cylons. There are a lot of other fleets out there, and Saturday is going to be a night of intense competition. Now, I understand that the chances of prevailing over a channel celebration are not huge, because that's probably going to go on for hours and hours and hours, and have whoever many guests, and we're going to do our Star Trek show. So have fun with them, but stick around for us for our Star Trek show, because I have a feeling their show will start before and end after ours. So there won't be a lot to miss as far as, you can watch it later and whatever. They're cool, but you know what? This is now a trend of people showing up on Saturday nights to do Star Trek after I said I wouldn't counter stream other Star Trek streamers with Star Trek. So whatever. I don't know, I guess, what kind of show they have planned, but, good luck to them, and congratulations on 3 years. But let's take a look. So 152 upvotes on Reddit for yesterday's Enterprise and 33,000 views over there, all right? So this is a lot more, 40 shares, all right? So this is a lot more than we're getting on YT. The interest exists. We need to focus this. One of the problems we have is the worldwide phenomenon of Star Trek puts us in a situation where we can't accurately show how well we do on a live stream because people are around the world. Now, we have been doing better in America and pulling in more Americans left and right. And again, I'm holding the runner on second, making sure that we have nothing going on Reddit. And hey, Rev, what's up, my man? It would be cool if Skydance would rebuild Star Trek after Dominion War on an Achilles-class heavy destroyer whose crew suddenly has to work on restoring peace and security. Great Trek. I would love to see that. I would love to see that show. Let's see. F Reddit. I really don't care what the mods on Reddit think of me. That's the problem. Reddit sometimes is, our click-through rate is terrible. Okay. I'm sorry. Our click-through rate is, might give you an idea. This channel's click-through rate and the impressions that we get is horrible. Like they'll give our click-through rate is 6.6%. Why is that terrible? Because it's so high? Because they only show it to 500 people. They show it to 500 people. 500 impressions. It gets 120 views. Then what happens? The click-through rate starts to blow through the roof because the external views come online. I go to Reddit. I go to other places. And I put my content there so that people can check it out. And that's how we have such a surge of people joining the channel. But I can't control where the Redditors come from, man. Some of them are going to come through in the middle of the night and welcome you. And sometimes the Reddit mods can be real dicks. They make me want to hang in there. Yeah, and you know what? Everyone on this Reddit thought so. Technobabble is great. And these guys I like. But then it also, look what it did over here. 67 thumbs up on Star Trek The Next Generation. 11,000 views. A 96% upvote rate. 22 comments. 9 total shares. That's 50 shares. Okay? Then 17 total shares on our sci-fi. 48,000 total views. 71% upvote rate. 17 shares. And then on my own personal page, it got 500 views and a 29% upvote rate and 3 shares. So I'm doing great. People love this stuff. I don't know why I'm having the problems I'm probably having on YT. One is, I guess, entertainment during the week is not like something that I'm identified with yet. We're closing that gap little by little, and what can I tell you? We'll get there. I guess also the other thing I'd say is the fact that we hived this off to the Green Band. They know about that. They don't like it, and I'm just not culture. Yeah, over there in the Green. Dang it, Bobber. You know, like Hank Hill, I also, Hank Hill's from New York, just like Admiral Teag, and on Reddit we're doing great. The thing is, the Reddit mods kind of have undue amount of control over my channel because they have the ability to control the flow of people here, and they get real gatekeepy and real particular. So, like, I'll be doing a million things, like editing a video, and also, like, to make the next big thing that's going to be on, like, look at all that positivity over there on Reddit. It's not the greatest, but, I don't know how many of those views come back to me. And the green machine's coming online a little more now. I think usually I have to activate it with emojis. Let me go fire a few more emojis into the storm there. The emojis over there are great. They're on their emoji game. God damn it, they don't have like 7 different Trump emojis. And that's one thing I think's been throttling me. I have been staying away from being political. One day it will come back to benefit me because I think people are going to reach over politicized and just not want to be part of it for a while. I think I will show up more often again. Oh, thank you. Your depressions are going down. Yay. All right. Burnfried, it's a real thing. That's what happened in my family for a while. I hope so too. And I have kept you in my prayers. And Red Dead 2 isn't capturing me as much anymore. Does that mean that you'll be like more with it? And okay, I know how you feel. Yeah, in Red Dead Redemption or a city builder game and other places, when things are going real bad, you can get into a video game and you can almost, it's like the menagerie or something like that. It's like, I have control here. I can do this. I in this place, like, I'm a popular governor of Rome instead of like a controversial YouTuber who's like bigger on other platforms than YouTube sometimes. And like, you know what? This one's going to just barely make it over the fence, but it'll look like a home run tomorrow when all the international viewers come online. I can't control the fact that like Star Trek took over my destiny here. I'm going to be on twice on Saturday, okay? I'm going to try to get a military view party in the afternoon or an 1883 recap show in the afternoon. I'm going to see if I can't get some people to help me out with that. And then I'm going to be on later in the evening. I haven't decided yet with the afternoon show. It's military or Western for sure, though. Then later in the evening, back again at 9:30 Eastern with Enterprise. Like I said, Marauders, it'll be a freaking fun watch party. I guarantee you that. We'll be all over the place. And You don't have a Reddit account. I have enough overly intense people that I know in person in my life. I know. The thing is that they sit on there all day and they will watch and they will sub the channel, and some of them are nice. There's so many people on there that some of them are nice. It's bigger in other countries. So it gets me the views, but the thing is, maybe only half of my people are on American, and less than half of my people are American. And like, of all the people who speak English, probably 20% of them are in New Zealand, right? So a lot of them will watch later, or they're doing, right now in New Zealand, it's 2:12, I think, in the afternoon. So, I mean, people are at work and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if I'm a lunchtime show in New Zealand, but, enjoy your lunch, my New Zealand friends, and everyone who comes through later, I thank you. Because like I said, it'll look like a home run tomorrow when the numbers start to accumulate. The Tuesday show especially seems to compile the numbers. When we have guests, we do better. I've been putting the shows up earlier, and the only show I network hard is the Saturday Star Trek show. And that's the one that I turn the AdSense off completely for as soon as the show starts. That one, never triggering it again, it seems to work out pretty darn good. I have liked the results with it. And you know what? It's great to see people coming in. Let's see what's going on with our poll. There's some Batman news. It wraps around our 1923 news. Here we go. So on our poll, we got 10 votes. Does Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson deserve a second Batman movie? 20% yes, 60% outright no. People were opinionated on this. And yes, because of the Penguin show, 20%. So 40% for yes, but only 20% of those really want it for another movie on its own merits. I found that movie interminably long, with not such a great Catwoman, with not such a great Batman, just didn't do the greatest thing. And you know what? It was just not the most fantastic movie. And they said, oh, well, he's a detective in it. To which I say, if we added 20 minutes of detective work to the old Batman movie with George Clooney and Chris whatever, that one Batman Forever. No, not Batman Forever. Batman and Robin. That movie is so bad. If we added 20 minutes of them like just peering through like bat binoculars and looking at each other and then looking back to the bat binoculars, that would be a better movie then. I mean, that's the way you have to look at it. That Batman lost most of his city and only can kind of control the Catwoman. And yeah, I know what you mean. I love Red Dead 2, but my beloved Arthur is is that a pet? I hope it's only a pet. I hope it's not a family member. Well, I mean, pets are family members, but I hope it's not a human. Back to Trek. All right, I'll try to answer your question. Did you know it's been since last year in May that we got a new episode in Star Trek Operations? And some really great moments for change despite its damn mashup universe. This universe is mashup because at least, hey, Mark, holy batshit. It's at least they're trying to tack away from these real problematic and dumb things they're doing, where for the last 18 months to 2 years, they've said that they're not cooperating with the new Trek people anymore. I think we're going to get into the year 2 now. They're saying that they can't, they'll let you fly the ships, but they're not going to mirror their stories anymore, and they're not going to create content for it. They also, I think the deal is they were drained of money and exhausted from following the new Trek storylines that they were obligated to do. So once they could get out of it, they could. Everyone who can get out of business with this new Trek people do, except the people at CBS. I don't know why. They seem stuck on there. And it does have, people have more passion for the game than they do for the show. And I think that the show is not quite as big as the game. I think the game might be saving the show, but the modern show, the old show, obviously it has its fans. Soon in theaters, The Patman 2, this time with even more whimpering and weird right-wing YouTubers and mumbling. You know what? Who knows what they have ready for us next? And it could be anything. Let's see. In Star Trek Operations, did a nice render of the Enterprise F. In STO, she looks nice. People love their ships there, and they feel invested into it, and they love that. They love that particular forum. So you got to say, hats off to them. for doing a good job. Like, and they might be doing more to keep Star Trek alive than a lot of people. By the way, here's another post. All these yesterday's Enterprise posts did absolutely great. Then look at our Section 31 work. 100% upvotes. Then I had the guts to go on the new Trek site. They kicked me off, but it got like 56% upvotes on their site first. What can I tell you? It's crazy out there. But see, Prodigy, I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with its existence only because of this. This is the thing. Prodigy, I understand. Prodigy has a strong chance to be called the best show out of all these new They just threw a lot of shows out there, and a couple of them worked, and some of them worked in ways that a Star Trek show maybe shouldn't. But that's neither here nor there. We can't undo it. I don't know that Lower Decks is very good for the franchise, but it might be okay, right? That's why I have a hard time watching it. With Prodigy, it infuriates me for this. While it might be better because I hear Alex Kurtzman isn't too interested in it, the danger of Prodigy is that Prodigy could be an extinction level event for all Trek. Why? Because once you get hit with the groomer thing and all the pedo accusations that everyone is all fixated on these days, and you hear about it endlessly on other channels, and at some point I'm going to have to cave in and just talk about the same stuff that everyone else is if it keeps going like this. But it does seem to be improving a little bit, especially over on the Green Machine. But the problem is this: because I don't do politics and because I don't react to things that much, and I do a little bit of the more spectacular, fun crime stories because no one wants crime, I just don't want to divide people, and we have enough people doing it. I think if I did it too, maybe it'd be good for me for a little while, but I'm on at this point late in the day, so going with something like that, you've heard it all day. What can I do? I don't want to react to the same things that have been going on all day. You've heard it well covered by people like Culture and other folks. So that is something that I have to figure out a way to serve without being too off topic. So that's why I tried to get the Hollywood story in today about the entertainment story in today about the weird robbery ring. And that is just a weird story. And it really is something. The other story I had today was a story before I go called DB6. You have to hear about this guy, DBR6. You can't believe this one. DBR6 is this weird kick streamer, and he is just. I know this has been all over, so I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna have to share my X to do it, and I have to be really careful. So I'm going to be away for a moment. If anyone can handle the hellos while I do this, it would help me. Let's see. The problem with Prodigy is this. Let me seal it up really quick. Because Alex Kurtzman hasn't paid attention to it and hasn't done anything to it, it's gotten kind of good, just like what happened with Lower Decks. And then what happens is Alex Kurtzman sets his eye on it, and he says, let me use this children's show, or let me use this cartoon to try to save Strange New Worlds, which has only damaged it. The crossover with Lower Decks might have been a wash for Lower Decks, but it was the worst episode of Lower Decks I've seen. Honestly, I've seen 4 or 5. And then it was one of the worst episodes of Strange New Worlds, but I hate every episode I've seen of Strange New Worlds. They have not entertained me for 10 minutes in all these years. And I want to thank Clownfish TV for just going out there and saying outright that one of the problems going on right now is that Paramount is better at retaliation than Disney. They said it. They said that Disney knew that they were doing the Clownfish TV thing, and if you know who they are, you know who they are. Disney was doing Clownfish, and what they said was, you know what, we were working on the Galactic Star Cruiser for them, and they knew that we were Clownfish TV, an anti-Disney YouTube organization, and they just had us on their payroll anyway, and they didn't care. Some of them knew. Enough of them knew. It didn't matter to anybody. They just wanted to get it done. They'll hire anybody. So they were working for Disney with a lot of Disney knowing that they were in this weird place. And it just, what does that say about everything? But they're not part of it now, they say, but I found them to be very interesting. I don't know. They've been very accurate. They beat a few people to the punch. Clownfish TV, interesting stuff. They have said they will not go on live because of other YouTubers. They don't like to interact with other YouTubers too much. I've been in enough destructive flame wars with people to say that. Here's the thing with Prodigy. When they cross it over with Strange New Worlds, it's grim. It's dark, and it's terrible. And that's why that children's show, your kids are gonna pressure you to watch Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds is wokey woke craziness, and it's just absolutely insane. And what goes on in that show is nuts. And they end up cucking Anson Mount. They hired him to embarrass him. It's embarrassing how he's treated. It's sad, and I don't really like the show, as you could tell. Stopped watching it pretty early. I love Final Space, and that's no longer available because Zaslav did that tax write-off thing. Yeah, we lost a few shows like that. You know what the deal is with Lower Decks? It got really bad, and then it got like a little better. And my theory is Kurtzman was around for the development, and he demanded some horrible shit. And then, like, when he stepped away, they were able to do higher quality episodes, but the show was damaged intrinsically. A lot of people will stand up for Lower Decks. I've decided I can unite all fans by simply not being against it. But it's funny how many people who have done Star Trek and said they were done with it circle back and do it again. You know, it's the most compelling show. It's got this conversation that's going on for all these decades, and as you can see, someone's trying to steal a car in front of my apartment. What are you going to do? Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Final Space was deleted, but it was available on digital. You know, a lot of people standing up for the physical copies. The latest thing was in... I'm trying to summon up the movie. Crocodile Dundee, with the stuff where he's with what we now would call the trans community, but then we're just simply called transvestites at that point. He's grabbing everybody's junk to make sure they're real. He starts like, he almost gets fooled, and then he starts like, you know, grabbing everyone's junk when he says hello. And it's just weird. And he's like, all right, nice to meet you, mate. Nice to meet you, lady. Just like, and it's just like some of these scenes have now been cut from the movie. And it's too bad because it was funny, and it shows you how sad the world is now compared to the world that was around when I was a kid. I mean, we can watch these movies and have a good laugh about things, and like try finding some of those Eddie Murphy stand-up routines anymore with all those like pejorative jokes about like the gay community, but that were still hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I watched one and it angered me how these morons screwed up Balance of Terror. Oh, that was horrible. One of the things that really ruins it the worst is their lack of money. Total and complete lack of money. It looks cheap. The hallways are empty. They're trying to do this. They co-opt the Kirk thing from him, a Kirk accomplishment. They give it to Puke. And, you know, it's a terrible show. Let's talk 1923 for a minute. 1923's star Brendan Sklenar plays Spencer Dutton on the show. His storyline is isolated from the rest. He's over in England at the end of this. He makes it, I think, to maybe Spain or England. He starts out in the middle of Africa. His storyline, he's a very Hemingway-esque kind of guy. He can get fired up and passionate, but for the most part, he's not. Yeah, right. Yeah. For the most part, like he's not very, very talkative. He's very emotional in a focused and quiet way. As far as if he sees something, he gets it. If he wants something, he takes it. But he has a sense of honor. He's not a thief or anything like that. His job is like big game control, not big game hunter, big game control. So I guess that kind of makes him seem a little less mean. So these animals are going to be taken out anyway. He's going to do it without getting himself killed and get, you know, some safety for the railroad workers and some safety for the people who are at the tourist attractions. And that's where he runs into his girlfriend, Alex. And that storyline, it's got some great nudity. It's a lot of fun. It's good stuff. And yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. When we watch that show here, we do it as a watch party. So our Section 31, you know, we give away the views. We don't expect anything from you. Some channels, they just tell you come to them and listen to them and believe them. We show it to you, and seeing is believing. And it's going to get bigger and bigger. But what happens is we show it to you, and then we all discuss it, and you can tell us how you feel. Other people, Section 31, are they going to show it to you? No, not so much. But they'll talk for it about 4 or 5 hours and just have a camp out, just have that, giving nothing back. I took it to the opponent. Everyone who watched it here, you know how many views that they got from it, from our hundreds of people watching? 1. And there are a hell of a lot more people in our theater than pass through the channel. Because my mission isn't to have the hugest concurrence. My mission is to take it. I am a guerrilla fighter. I will take it to the enemy. My enemy is the mountain people. Now, to be fair, over on the mountain that is Paramount, where I think a lot of the problems came from, a lot of these problems have gone away since there's been a change over there. And maybe the people who gave us problems don't have much money anymore. But the long and painful battle has taken a toll. As you can see, it's hard for people to find out I'm here. It's hard for me to really make any traction on YouTube right now. And it's been a little too long. Some weeks better than others. But right now, today, I'm glad to have all you here because at least we're going to have people coming through later. And it's very obvious that all these different events just kind of crashing together have just sort of... We've got like just simply everybody on the air. There's a bunch of member streams. Everybody took the day off on Monday completely. So Tuesday has just been absolutely insane. I'm confident that people will be coming through later and watching this great episode of our show. And I thank everyone who's here right now. Let's get to the 1923 stuff we took care of. Here's the other thing, the Brandon Sklenar video. Check it out if you haven't. It's doing very well. I'm enjoying the fact that it's doing well. The Yellowstone people seem to be watching it. I have to serve them as Yellowstone is coming up. And Yellowstone is right now powering this channel more than Star Trek is. On Saturday nights, we do great. But it's just great that we have bigger things going on. Because with the watch party format, you're always going to have about half as many views. Because people go into the theater... A lot of them never come out. A lot of times, YouTube will just negate a view from two different. From if you're watching on 2 devices and my show's open on both, they're going to figure it out and turn off one of those, and they're going to use those devices against me and take away some views. Concurrently. You don't see my show rolling backwards in views like some, but that is a problem for people who've purchased the technology to try to boost themselves. I just work hard and make uploads that seem to pile on the subscribers. As I just showed you, the amount of appetite there is for this over on Reddit is absolutely huge. It brings the views over. My click-through rate is really super high because I bring my views in externally. Critically Thinking and Drinking brings views in externally. He makes a big difference for the channel. And all of you make a huge difference. And when you tweet out that I'm live, at least it gets people to come through later. And they find out. I have to do a community post for every show now so that people can show up until we start to turn it around a little more, because YouTube's certainly frowning on the middle-sized channel the way they tend to do. And I'm going to try to go a little longer without nitrous injecting this with a bunch of politics and a bunch of things from current events that are a little more sassy. Trying to stay away from some of that stuff. And I don't know if you guys still want to hear it at the end of the day. Also, if I zig when I should have zagged in a political thing, I might just piss people the fuck off. The only thing I really can opinionate on is New York City, and I'll end with this one. I think that you should all, if you're members of the channel, check out the channel member video. It's pretty darn good, and I worked on it pretty hard. I hope you like it. And how do I know it's good? Because I didn't write the music. There's some great music that you'll like on there so that you can sort of take in what's going on, get my origin story and my perspective, know where everything's coming from. And let's see. Also, the Star Trek Yesterday's Enterprise, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But it works out. About 1/2 to 1/4 of the channel watches Yellowstone, and then 1/2 to 1/4 of the channel watches Star Trek, and then 50% kind of will watch both, and we have a real good even mix between videos and shows, live streams. So this time slot maybe is possibly part of the problem. I'm going to try to establish it a little while longer, but it seems like the middle of the day is where it's more fruitful, and I'll just show up and start doing that one if I have to. Thursdays might be able to stick to my guns a little longer. We'll see which one of these shows can do better. But hey, how'd you like last couple of weeks where we've had guests? We had Sub Commander Tall from X, a growing part of the whole equation, where we have a few views right now, about 8 people, I guess, watching. And then over on the Green Machine, doing slightly better than usual, with 6 people watching. I thank you all. I see Burnfried, you have done a great job of drumming up interest on there. Because I think the only way that they have of driving people to that front page is by sort of harping around and getting some conversations and some comments in there, or they are infamous for just not having. The algorithm is killer and really obnoxious here, but the algorithm is just absolutely either the algorithm or the lack algorithm or whatever it is over on the Green Band thing. That tends to be a really huge incursion on your show, and you don't really have the ability to do some of the things you can do here on YouTube, where they're just better at engagement. What can I tell you? They're better at engagement on YouTube here than they are at other places. Damn it, Bobby. Robert, Bobby. I am so glad that New Direct isn't on Netflix anymore. Yeah, well, Netflix struck the first blow against them. Although they did take, after it aired, but they took, they might have developed with them, or they didn't give them money, but they accepted as a new project, Prodigy. And they did allow them to make a second season. I don't think money's changing hands, because Netflix and them have an acrimonious relationship. They don't trust Alex Kurtzman very much. Yes, I am live there. As I would look over my shoulder, I see that it is still live. It looks a little behind, but it is live. I'll give that one a quick refresh. Let's see what happens over there. Yeah, it's still showing up as live. I see your comment. It was live but behind, but the live comments are now sticking there. And yeah, thanks for drumming up interest all around on the different mediums. It's been challenging. I did not have regular uploads for a while. I got out of focus on football season with Outlaw Bill, and it is what it is. Here we go. Last story. Batman. Batman's a real thing that's really happening. Batman is either Matt Reeves is going to get another one, and it looks like he probably will. But there's parallel development of yet another Batman franchise. They're always talking about the idea that they could find another way to get Batman going, right? So, see the image of SNW Pike wearing that bizarre version of the Monster Maroon. Yeah, everything about that show is really bad. The other Batman project is looking to have Brandon Sklenar in it. Brandon Sklenar's problem right now is that Crazy Ree, as a lot of people are starting to say, Blake Lively, who seems to be out of it, and the guy she's arguing with, Justin Baldoni, who seems to be every bit nice pool, he seems to be an idiot too. It's like everyone in this fight deserves it except Brandon Sklenar. He's in that movie, like whatever it's called, It's Just Us or whatever, Us and Them. No one cares about this movie that's going to tank. Everyone hates each other who is involved in it. There's like all this litigation, and Sklenar's just trying to say like, oh shucks, it's no big deal. But he should stop addressing it and just say, look, man, these people are going to court. I don't want to talk about it, because I would hate to see him get slimed in this, because season 2 of 1923 is going to be huge. It's going to be really, really huge, and it's going to be fun to see. Star Trek Online is really struggling not to go full STD, but at least they try. No, they're not struggling anymore. I think the deal is this. They said that they tried it and it wasn't fruitful. And also what they said was because of the Byzantine and highly secretive nature of the storytelling and the story making over there, that no one was really giving them a lot of help or a lot of assistance and a lot of lead time. So they had to like deliver on these obligations, and then the show would be late. And then also they would schedule a promotion around the show, and then the show would be late. Or they would schedule a promotion around part of the show, and the show would cut that out. Or they design something to support a part of the show, and the show wouldn't go there. So they were just like, you're tying down all our coding people and effing up everything else. And like people are like, not happy with the new stuff anyway, so we're going to walk away. So I think the deal is like, if it works, they have the option to pick it up, but they don't have to, and they don't want to anymore. Like they're sick of it. They might after a show's over, give you like a mission from Picard or something, or a mission from something, but they're not going to try to go there in real time the whole time anymore. It's not going to work. And what's happening here? Is it piling up on the, people are starting to pile up on the X. That's nice. We got a really high number right as I'm starting to get ready to skedaddle, but maybe I'll hang out for a moment longer and just bask in the light of this accomplishment, as we do have some nice presence over on the YT now. It takes a while for them to even tell them I'm around. I was supposed to go to Culture Casinos and watch a movie, but now that you guys have all showed up, let's expand on the Brandon Sklenar 1923 Batman Sydney Sweeney alignment of things that Admiral Teag just loves. We have Sydney Sweeney, who I love, seems to be dating Brandon Sklenar, who I think is great. And by the way, guys, make it OnlyFans on that one, please. I want to see the two beautiful people together. But you know what? On top of that, we also have not just Brandon Sklenar being interested in Sydney Sweeney and possibly romantically connected, and he looks like Glenn Powell, who I think she has a crush on too. So maybe that's playing into it. But he's in better movies, except for this Justin Baldoni piece of crap that's going to fail. But everybody in that seems to like each other, deserve each other except him. And then also coming into the equation is he's a 1923 star that we've seen be great, just great. And what is it with the Y team? They're kind of really, it's weird and it's fickle and it's strange. But you know what? I'm going to overcome it. I haven't let it get me down since it started with the strike back in December. I mean, rather October. It was October 1st, and it took till January 1st to go away. It is taking a really long time to refire it. When I have a guest, it helps out, and people are more interested. Discussions do better than a solo panel every time. That's going to be the way it is. But I'm Ozzy. I don't know that this hurts me. There's people will listen to it later. I don't feel embarrassed about it. I wish I had more concurrence because I want to be the best. People will listen later and it'll look like a home run. Here's the deal. Brandon Sklenar wanted to be Batman. Intersects one more thing that I love. So we'll be following the Brandon Sklenar Batman thing, and we'll be doing more coverage on Batman because that's just something I like. The last time I did Batman is the first full video essay for the channel. Check out Batman Cape Crusader. I think it's called Batman Woke Loser or J.J. Abrams' Final Failure now. Sometimes you got to change the name to keep it going. Hey, Rocco. Is Sydney Sweeney engaged with someone else? Yeah, she's been said to be engaged to this John Davros guy. And it's just the gossip media that's saying it. So we don't know. But, it's just they're being connected. I think, like I said, it's because he looks like Glenn Powell. And Glenn Powell is someone that Sydney Sweeney said that she loves to work with. And that's not the guy she's engaged to either. But, I mean, Sydney Sweeney's ex-boyfriend, I wish him all the luck in the world. Good luck getting over that one, right? But let's see. Oh yeah, and Rocco concurs on the OnlyFans thing. We got to get Rocco onto Enterprise. Would you be willing to come? What are you doing on Saturday? Let's not even pick up the conversation on your old DMs. But you know what? That conversation turns out you were more right than I thought. That worked out much better than I ever could have imagined. And I was right to trust you and go with that one. So let's leave it at that. Delete that conversation if you want to start up that on that one again. But I could talk to you through the two guys talking. Do you want to come on Saturday and help us analyze Enterprise? We got an episode called Marauders. You can watch it with us. No pre-work involved. Think it over. You don't have to say yes now. Let's see. Reverend Burnfried Axel says, well, STO made a logical step and created Galactic Alliance with major powers working together. And this anniversary, we get a badass Galaxy-class based dreadnought. That's cool. No crash for Paramount Plus. No cash for Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus gets money? Kurtzman doesn't. Kurtzman stopped getting money from that. They got out of their deal with the bad reboot. For them, it's called, they're called Secret Hideout. I call them Public Hangout. But you know what? I'm going to stop doing a few things that I did that were right for Star Trek just to get the channel back on track. One, it was the right thing not to use the Star Trek hashtag. But when everyone else, including the biggest people, are doing it, it hurt us. It was a principled boycott, and no one can say that I helped their hashtag trend. And I tend to think that I did a good job in keeping it suppressed. And I've abandoned that policy. Everyone feel free to use the hashtag, whatever. You got to do what you got to do. And that was only, spiritual leadership. But as far as calling things what they are, I'm not going to call a new Trek party a new Trek party. I will take the hit on people as far as I'm not going to call it Star Trek till it's over. I'm not going to call it Star Trek till it's over. I'm not going to promote it ahead of time. I'm not going to promote their premiere day and help drive their engagement. When we did New Trek, it was called Sci-Fi CSI. There was no Star Trek used, no hashtags used, and it was a principled boycott. With Batman, we're going to focus in a little more, though. This Robert Pattinson thing, let's talk about it for a minute. That movie, it wasn't so good. His city, he lost 2/3 of it. Catwoman, she's not so hot. Why was she making out with that other girl in her apartment? Then that chick just gets killed while Batman is watching. Next thing we know, we turn around, Batman and her, they got this friend zone, kind of touchy-feely friend zone thing going on where they fight, flirt, whatever, and it doesn't make any damn sense. It's the dumbest thing ever. But let's see. Captain Peacock said Mr. Humphreys can help with the Y fronts. I know. If you know, you know. Said Mr. Humphreys, can you help on the Y fronts? I'll have to think about that one. Okay, yes, now I understand what you mean. And thank you. Hey, Rock, buddy, are you making a bid? If you want to wrench, maybe it's time to wrench you up. You hear a lot. You love the content. Anyone here today is here a lot. Let's face it. We're just not our most intense sale. Although 7, not so terrible. I like it. I'm happy about it. And like I said, it'll look like a home run later, especially if I keep it under an hour and a half, which with 18 minutes to go, I think that we should be able to squeeze it in. If I hit an hour and a half, that'll be fine. Star Trek in the 25th century, all the powers still thrive. The new show is on Alliance Battlecruiser, dealing with the shit at the edge of settled galaxy on extra threats. Do it! What are you saying? If you made a show based in the game, that's a more logical version of Star Trek than what's going on with what I understand from the Kurtzman verse. In the Kurtzman verse, they're saying that they're going to make Star Trek Academy. I don't believe it. I didn't believe that Section 31 was going to happen because they didn't have the money, and I said it'd be garbage. It took so long for it to come out and when we saw it, oh my God, when we saw it, was I right about there being no money? Cheap ass garbage. It looked terrible. That looked terrible. That was some horrible shit. Anyway, cheap ass garbage, a total trash fire there. What do you do? It is what it is. As we move on past that, we see that Kurtzman Trek, he's saying he's going to make this Star Trek Academy show, and they hired She-Hulk Tatiana Maslany for it. But there's a bunch of Star Trek Discovery characters in it. So how's that show not canon with these people in the future? So it's recanonized. That was just something, they were just lying to people about that. If Star Trek Discovery is not canon, how come Tilly's in a new show? How come Sarah's in a new show? I agree. Poison Ivy needs to be a real redhead. Yeah. I'm fielding Star Trek questions and trying to have the Batman conversation. Let me go pure Batman here. When Hollywood sends us their Batman, they haven't sent us their best in a long time. They're not even sending an American most of the time. They're not sending Michael Keaton. They're not sending Adam West. Goodness gracious me. They're not even sending George Clooney. Oh my God, no, they sent George Clooney again. They're not sending Val Kilmer. Even Val Kilmer would be better than a return of George Clooney. Come on now. Come now. I think that the failure of that movie means that maybe won't happen. I mean, no one's talked about it at all. Now they're talking about maybe a new Batman to go along with this new Superman. The new Superman is pretty young. The thing is, the casting on Superman is kind of questionable, whereas Brandon Sklenar would make an excellent Batman. Excellent Batman. And the thing is, yeah, Mary Jane Watson proves that redheads rule. They are fun, right? We love you, blondes and brunettes as well. And let's see, 25th century Zar Trek. I know what you mean there. Galactic Battle, Alliance Battlecruiser setting is called the G-Man. Boom, boom, bitch. Okay. I'm glad that it's at least improved a little bit. I mean, what are you going to do? It is what it is. The thing is, the game for the show now helps the game flourish, and that's good if you play the game, but it's kind of a real drag as far as the show now is a problem, right? The show is the problem. So here we go. The Batman conversation is this. Brandon Sklenar is such a good casting call for Batman and Bruce Wayne that I wonder if they won't fuck it up on that alone. He's a perfect Batman and Bruce Wayne. As Spencer Dutton, he's shown that he can move around in high society. He looks good in the tux, quote unquote, cleans up well. He's proven that he can be a badass, tough guy. The fight in the final episode of 1923, or the second to last episode of 1923, is so badass. It's so badass. I don't want to give it away, but he freaking beats the piss out of this guy, and it's like in a fight that shows us something about the characters and shows us something about everyone's traits, and a fight that advances the story and its action when it's needed. It was like Taylor Sheridan is just a better writer than some of these Star Trek people. Like, we get a real story from Taylor Sheridan, and I encourage everyone to watch the Yellowstone stuff that I'm doing. What's going on with the watch parties? They now have obscene watch amounts, and they also have obscene amounts of people joining. So that's hence the half Yellowstone thing. With the Star Trek audience, we've divided that between, it's 3/4 of everybody watches both. But if you are a member of the channel for the Star Trek content, please watch the Star Trek uploads. Another one should probably be ready Wednesday. I did a member video last week. I'm going to wait one more week to do another one of those. The last week was a 3-video week. It beat the shit out of me. But as far as that goes, I think now, as we close in on 117, I want to thank everyone for being here, and I'm going to give the introduction to what's happening on Thursday. Listen to this one. Out of the Theater review. Out of the Theater review for Captain America. I got a ticket. It was an empty theater when I booked it. There were no other people who had booked seats. I got exactly the seat you would want, on the aisle, first row up, not in front of the theater, in front of the screen, but the first row back on the part that rises up a little bit. It's kind of stadium-ish seating. It's the only way they want to do it anymore. It works fairly good, though. I don't mind the stadium seating. I don't need to see the back of someone's head intruding into it. I'm not 10 feet tall. I can't see over everybody. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to enjoy this movie as for what it's worth. And what I'm going to be able to do is, if it's good, I'll admit it. Is it going to be good? I tend to think it won't be. I'm going to enjoy my trip to the movie theater more than I enjoy the movie itself. I'll go to my favorite pizza place up the block from my favorite movie theater, and I'll get a slice of my very favorite pizza. That'll be something else. Then I will go see this film, and then I will be back here probably by 5 or 6 o'clock. The show's at 7:30. Maybe I go on a little early. I don't know. Maybe I go on at my regular time. It's hard to say, but I'll have an out of the theater analysis for you and information on the episode, on the movie. Okay, so check the show. Keep checking. Captain America is a movie that I think no one wants to see, but I think that everyone wants to know what happens in it. Everyone wants to know how it goes wrong, if it goes wrong, and it's most likely going to go wrong. And does anyone think that this Thunderbolts thing isn't that they just had extra stuff left over from this Captain America movie, and it's like some of it we could use in the Thunderbolts thing, man? I bet you I'm going to be able to detect where the stories are broken off, or the story's just going to be a massive mess. The thing is, here's how I justified going to see it. One, I'm going to enjoy it because it's going to be pretty bad. I'm going to be laughing my ass off. If it's good, then it's good. So it's a no-lose that way. I expect it to be bad, so my expectations are low. If it's good, I'll be shocked, and it'll be real good because I'll enjoy myself. But I am expecting pretty bad. Secondly, I'm going to come home and be able to give you guys like the out of the theater review, and I think that like makes it worth my while because it'll please people. People want to know what's going on. I can promote it ahead of time, and it'll be a real hoot. I don't know how long this movie runs. 7 o'clock might be 7:30. Still might be the time to do it. Quite honestly, because Critical Drinker's on earlier. He's going to have his takedown of it. I'm not going to get any headway going on during him. And being on after Drinker seems to be a good thing for this show on Thursdays. So maybe what I'll do is I'll feel it out with Drinker, and as his show goes along and progresses, what I'll do is at the last minute there, I can go on maybe 20 minutes after he's done, just sort of do my coverage, catch as many people on the internet as I can, and maybe that's a day for a longer show. You know, I don't have to always just stay on for 90 minutes, but it is good when you have a worldwide audience to have a consumable length show, which is real important. Let's see, mostly Burnfried Flies, TOS, TMP, T6 Retro Connie. Oh, man. Oh, I love the Retro Connie. You talk about the Star Trek 6 version of it, where we really get to see the Constitution, is it? That's rechristened the Enterprise A. I love that ship. I really do. And it's in a really good movie. The refit Connie is the best. I agree. It looks tough. It looks real. It's a very well done model. It's based on a model that was great already. They improved it. They didn't mess with anything. They made it better. In the special edition, they've remade the older ships to look more like the newer ones in a way. They give them those weird solar collectors or whatever it looks like on the inside of the struts that support the nacelles. It's really good. You want to get your hands on the ample nacelles of those ships. They're great. And also, you know what? Star Trek 6 is a great movie. So the refit Connie in its movies and its service in a lot of the in a lot of the TOS movies, fantastic. It looks completely different in the motion picture as the same ship and model does in the next movie. And I understand the same bridge sets, all lighting. We saw that in yesterday's Enterprise. Still time to catch that one. It's not going anywhere. And it's still compiling views, getting a couple every few hours. You know, it's good. It's going to keep on being a testament to the kind of Star Trek we love. And it's pretty well crafted. Thank you all for being here. Let's see. I just looked at the pizza cutter and I picture a Connie in therapy with a therapist saying, "Where did the Star Destroyer touch you?" Yeah, well, the thing is, they rejected it for that. He was like making drawings for both. It's like a 74, 75, 76 design, the thing that they used for Voyager, and that was just to member bury their way in and win some fake affection from the fans. The thing is, like, the Star Trek people were like, it was going to be the Star Trek, it was going to be the Enterprise for next phase, and like, the wedge-shaped body doesn't do it for us, and so he retest that, and like the same guy, I think it's Macquarie all around, designs the Star Destroyer, right? So, you know, good on everybody. We get ships that are iconic, although the Star Destroyer is really taking a hit as far as how much damage you can do to someone else, man. TOS paint job, zero perfection. I'm not paying $200 just to get a Phase 2 Enterprise. Yeah, F that. Mark Harkness, they stole her from the failed Jeffries version and made her worse. How much in how in the world? Yeah, you know what it was? It was Jeffries and Macquarie. Macquarie did the concept art, and Jeffries was going to do the model, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on this one. I just know that like it didn't look right. I don't know how far they took it, but it didn't look right, and it wasn't something that the Star Trek people were interested in going much further on. And we see that recent interview with William Shatner that dropped, where he talks about how they had a TV miniseries that would be about an hour and a half long, ready to go at Star Trek, and that didn't end up working out. So, you know what? That became the motion picture, the story of a troubled production every minute of the way through, and you can check out more on that one. Let's go look at our poll. 12 votes. Do Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson deserve a second Batman movie? Yes, 17%. No, 58%. And yes, because of the Penguin show, 17%. Like the stream, see results, 8% of you wonderful people did that for me. I thank you so much. And, you know, with that, we end the poll. It's a crazy night. Hopefully people coming through will help this one out. I will show you one more quick story before I get out of here, because it's crazy what this American YouTuber did. He might have broke the law in the country he was from. So, actually, I think he's British. I found out about this guy from Meme Copium. Meme Copium he's got a pretty good show. And what he does is, I don't know how much of this I can show you, but I'll try. Maybe if it's small enough, it won't be a big deal. But basically, he's a violent and crazy weirdo called DVR66. He's gone to Tokyo. This is a new trend. There's this thing called IRL YouTubing, where in real life, YouTubers are people who will go to someplace and they'll start fucking around. So he goes to this street in Japan And their society is a little more polite than ours and a little more reserved. And what he does is this guy, I believe he's a Somali by birth who is now lives in England. He has a Brit accent. And yeah, no, they shouldn't carry it into the production. I'm glad that it didn't go any further. It didn't look very Star Trek at all. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was told, give it a new look, and he tried something a little too, like, it wasn't like it was a bad faith effort, and it does end up doing something in another franchise. It's kind of funny. It's another example of Star Trek does it first, but there's like a Sophie snow festival. The town's called Sophie, or something close to that, and they're having a snow festival. It's a winter festival, something like that. It's really nice. People are walking around. This guy's a volunteer. He's spreading like kitty litter or something so people can walk. The guy with the little sled there, and you can see the hand holding the snow. And this guy's a real obnoxious dick who curses a lot. But I'll let you hear his voice so you can hear him. Here we go. He's really mean.
The next person to come to this vending machine is getting hit with this. I'm not gonna lie.
So this guy is a real piece of work.
This is like a whole block of shit.
It's a block of ice. It's not a snowball. Like these guys, their deal is they want to hurt people. So this is the guy he's picked out that he's going to do this to.
Drop the 100 subs. Drop
He's like, I'll get 100 subs for this one. I'll get 100 subscribers for this
the
one.
100 subs. This dude right here that looks like he's having
He's stalking the guy down. He's absolutely a piece of garbage for doing
a
this.
nice day.
He's having a nice day. So watch his method here.
See me, my son.
Okay.
So this guy figures that no one would do something that fucked up, like intentionally, like he figures that they have to be, maybe like there's something wrong with the person who did this, or maybe like they didn't like think it through. He's thinking it has to be a mistake, and he takes it good naturedly because, as they say, like it's a more polite society there, and he would never imagine that someone would be this rotten. But this guy stalked him down and did this to him. You can see apparently he's been identified as Meme Copium called him a volunteer. And you can see what he's doing right now. It's just he's trying to help people out so they don't fall on the ice. And this guy, he's not making any money, and this guy does this to him.
Sorry.
See, that's his method. He hits me. Oh, sorry. He's like as though he didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
Hug.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this guy's
Sorry.
a little weirded out. Like he's not okay with it. He's just
What's wrong with you?
he's not okay with it. He's just being nice. And you can see, like, this guy comes over, and this guy's based. He's German. He's like, he corrects this idiot.
Wait, what?
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with you?
I just threw a snowball.
Yeah, why? Why?
Do you want
in
me
the
to-
face? Why,
You did not just throw a snowball, you fucking scumbag. You threw a block of ice.
why in the face of a staff member here?
Do you want me
Look how beautiful the city is, by the way. Look at that skyline behind him. It's a beautiful
to
place.
throw a snowball at you?
No,
Look
because
at him, his lip is bleeding.
yes, his lip is bleeding because of you.
Because
Turn
of-
it off.
So he's drawn blood with this attack, and he's still not in touch with how evil it is that what he did. The guy's a real
Turn
dick.
it off.
No,
What's wrong with you?
don't touch my phone.
You
Don't touch my
I can't. These guys are such rat bastards to everybody. And then when you do this to them, they're like, "Don't touch my phone! Don't touch my phone!" It's like you just assaulted somebody. You threw something at their head. You could have hurt them badly.
Then walk away from me.
You fucking tourist.
I love this guy, this German guy. You effing tourist. Don't touch my wife.
Tourist? Yeah, you're a tourist, obviously.
I live here.
Yeah.
This guy's a genius, by the way. He speaks German, Japanese, and English. How educated is he? I'm jealous of this guy's intellect.
But why are you
Then you
using?
should have respect.
Yeah.
I said to him, sorry.
Are you okay?
See, the channel is now gone, this KDBR6 channel. It was Twitch. I'm sorry, it was Kick. Sorry, it was Kick. It's gone now.
I said, go no, sorry, whatever it is.
Now, he was also trying to antagonize the guy by mispronouncing the Japanese, but that's this guy, DBR6. What a whack job. That was meme copium this morning. Do you guys like that? Do you want a little more DBR6, or is that enough for you? I believe right now, I think he's hiding. A guy called Johnny Somali tried this stuff earlier in the year, and it didn't work out very well for him, okay? And he ended up, he had to get out of Japan. And what happens is you're not allowed to, and welcome to the NYPD making their nightly appearance. Do I live in an absolutely crime-ridden neighborhood? Well, we have cops, right? Kick streamer. Trying to find the story in the Tokyo thing. Kick streamer DBR assaults volunteer at Sapporo Snow Show. Terrible stuff. Gets arrested for burglary. That might be a different Twitch streamer to be a kick streamer to be fair. Shovey arrested for burglary. So this is what these guys do. These IRL tweeters. They're absolutely terrible guys. They don't know how to act at all. They assault people, they hurt people, and it's absolutely the most base human behavior. And they take advantage. Yeah, you don't need cops. You do need Batman for this guy. What he did was terrible. He's in quite a bit of trouble for it now. The people who basically what happens is you might not get caught by authorities right away, but you will end up with more problems than you bargained for, because you're not allowed to film people in public in Japan. You're not allowed to put their faces on, and TV news over there doesn't show faces. So here you can see it's the same incident, and it gets a little worse for him. This is a longer version. This is the full version, and you can see him here, his declaration of intent.
The next person to come to this vending machine is getting hit with this. I'm not gonna lie.
And the guy's really illiterate, and he talks like a real asshole. He's a real piece of garbage. As you can see, our heroic Germans try to reason with this fucking idiot for a couple of minutes. But at the end of the situation, what happens is he continues to antagonize these poor people. He's just a rat, just rat bastard, antagonizing these poor people, just being as mean as could possibly be. As you can see, he's screaming and yelling at them, and he's calling everybody, pejoratives that are deeply racial. He's calling the F bad word, not the one that runs at Duck, the one. He's calling everybody British cigarettes. He's yelling and screaming. He's and basically just making a freaking scene and being antagonistic. And his move is he always keeps saying to people, "Call the cops, call the cops, call the cops." And also, one of his other things is he has sort of a low life posse that will hang out with him, and they will get themselves in trouble just to look cool for this guy. So as you can see, people continue to sort of humor him. They think he must be mad.
Bye-bye. Okay, bro, this guy's a...
And he starts calling everyone an SJW. That's the best he's got here. This is not SJW stuff. It's that he assaulted someone. He thinks it's funny. Now watch
social
this.
SJW to the max. Look at him. SJW. Okay.
So everyone's inclined to let him go, but as you can see, and by the way,
Hi.
The masking thing, that's just big in a lot of Asian countries. So don't worry about that one. Nothing has changed. They've been to Google their subway, Google Tokyo subway 1990. You'll see plenty of that. That's a long time thing that is sort of baked into their society. Look how beautiful the city is.
Okay, cool.
So he could have walked away, and all they wanted was for him to leave, even after all he'd done. But he walks up on them.
Me and him just spoke very clearly, and we're...
And so now he's trying to just escalate the situation because he's such a rat.
Very good.
Bastard.
Call him. Let's go. Cool. Tell him.
Rat bastard.
Okay.
And as you can see, this German guy he is a hero, Chad, honestly. They say, it's not great to snitch. This guy needs to be told on. He hit someone in the head with a chunk of ice. He drew blood, and these Japanese authorities, they can't believe that someone would be this rude, and disbelief is helping him out here.
Like this?
No problem. We public. If you don't want to be filmed.
So he thinks that he has the same rules that he has in England and America. You're not allowed to do this stuff there. So when we saw the news footage on this,
walk away. I don't film.
Tiled out.
I go. Okay, arigato gozaimasu. Bye-bye. Thank you.
See, even to that point, they're still just go away. And this persists for a little while longer.
Hi. I'm Mari. I know.
So now he's finally exhausted their goodwill. This is they're warning him one more time. He's waving his arms around. You couldn't do this in America. Imagine waving your arms around and acting wacky like that. So this persists for a while longer. And this is, by the way, this is, I believe, a police booth anyway. They called it the snitch shack on on the meme copium show where this came to my attention, and this guy just sort of he goes from place to place just being rude. He knocks off a piss in a hallway. He's a real loser. Terrible stuff all the way around by this guy. And hey, FKHC 2005. Yep, that's a criminal act. It was premeditated. That's right. It's a criminal act anywhere to do that. You try that anywhere, it's a criminal act. And it's good to see you, Tim. You lived there in the Tokyo area for 3 years as a kid. About not filming people's faces. Yeah, I believe so. And Mark says he agrees that these little shites should get the treatment they deserve. Here's the thing. I'll tell the wrench story in a minute. I had to de-wrench almost everybody because of the look of it. People who came to the show were, here's the thing. The wrenches were given away for merit. And Tim, we did throw you that huge birthday party. We're going to have just a couple of mods, and the people who are modding have to agree. They got to agree to say hi to everybody. It's been a while since the last bot storm. We're going to, like, people who fought in the bot storm, we try to keep them wrenched up as a reward. OB2 is supposed to be the head mod. He's got availability problems. He'll be more available at other times. Unfortunately, because of the situation, I just cannot have. What was going on was this. People would come into my show's chat, and people would come into the show. And what happened was Kremlin and other people bought memberships for a lot of people. And they couldn't see the effect of it. And they were confused. And thankfully, he asked me about it, because who knows how many times this has happened before. He said, and this is YouTube, it's not me. It looks bad, and it looks bad for you guys when you come into my chat and everybody's got a wrench and no one says hi. So rather than forcing people to say hi, for about 2 months there, every stream I said, if you have a wrench, could you please say hi? Here and there it happened, and some people seem to be making a bid to get their wrenches back because they want to be part of the solution. And the solution is really to have a couple of wrenches very proactively greeting people. Like behind every successful YouTuber is a mod. Now, if you take this mod job, what you get is this: free channel membership perks or membership perks above your channel membership level. Everything, that I could do. If you're a member, you get a level up. If you're not a member, you get membership privileges if you want the job as Admiral Teags mod. It'll be great. Just say hi to people and thank them for me. And the bots haven't been attacking, Rocco. I've been very lucky on that one for a few weeks now. Save here. You aren't bad. No one is bad. It's just that here's the thing. It doesn't make you or me look good, and it doesn't help with the way YouTube works. We were working against YouTube's engagement. As you can see, we never hit 10 people today. Maybe for a minute, but we didn't have a super productive day. And if I don't turn on AdSense, they will not call anyone to the show. This was not a watch party, but it's still, when we have people come to the stream, we have to recruit them to wanting to come back to the stream. They can't come here, gift, see no effect from the gift. No one thanks them for the membership because they either they can't tell they had it or they're not there. And, no one thanks them for the gifting. And if I can't see it for 2-3 minutes, I chased Ruby Hoove all over the internet for 3-4 days to thank her for a gifting. She was gone before anyone thanked her. And it was 7-8 minutes before I saw it. In 7 or 8 minutes, 12 mods did not thank this person. After a month or two of me saying, when someone gives me something, please thank them for me. When you see someone new in the stream, please say hello to them for me. People who had the loyalty wrenches and who had the wrenches because they were early subscribers, that was great. And I was happy to do it. But then it started to work against the channel. Hard. It started to work really hard against the channel. Thank you for understanding. There are no more bots right now. And people have been really cool about the wrench thing. Here's the thing. When someone drops a bunch of subs and then everybody's thanking them and their wrenches and their names are turning green, it's great for the channel and it's a great feeling for the person who gets something out of it. And if you're on Rumble, you should look. Do not give gifts on Rumble until you check the prices. Check the phone and check the computer. Because on Rumble, it's different prices on both. And if you're there now, if you could give this stream a like, it could use it, please. There are 5 of you there now. Just give me a like, please, over on Rumble. And, yeah, I'm sorry. So, Yeah, but here's the thing. Now there's no pressure, right? And it's not like, here's the thing with all these memberships going out, we have a great gifting community. We need to encourage that. It helps me out tremendously. No one really has to worry about giving tons of super chats and stuff like that. Not that I mind. You don't see me suborning to join the community. You don't see me stumping for super chats. It's not all about money here when I have my show. This show is about having exchange of ideas, having a relationship with you guys. And during the week, when it's not as big as it is, and I'm looking over on X just to make sure that I'm ahead on the messages there, and I seem to be. And during the week, it's a little less hectic. On Sundays, on Saturday nights, we do a great job. We have the best Star Trek watch party. Now there's other people coming for the Star Trek show and doing Star Trek against other Star Trek, which I don't know if that's cool. The idea is if you're supposed to be out there to help Star Trek, ask not what you can do for Star Trek, huh? Ask what Star Trek can do for you. Is that what some people seem to be saying? I have gone to the mat against the people allegedly from Paramount, old Paramount, finished Paramount, who sabotaged this a lot. I went to the line again and again and again. I did not use their hashtag again and again, and I still had highly successful parties. And my upload content, which is the second to none now as far as regular, all these other Star Trek creators. There's no other Star Trek creator making stuff like I'm making. You can only get the Star Trek video essays here. You can only get the conversations here. And if you want to hear some people selfishly talk for 4 hours without giving you a damn thing, by which I mean I give you the episode, there's plenty of people who do that. It's not about me rolling you with the AdSense. On the Star Trek shows, I want to spread the idea that this show was once great. The uploads are somewhat episode reliant, but I figured out a way to get that down to like a science. And the next one's going to be great. But yeah, there have been no bot swarms in quite some time, and it's been a real welcome change from what was going on, which was nightmare-esque. What was going on was just an absolute drag. What would happen would be this, and they didn't realize that I wasn't monetized, or they were just going after everyone. It was early on the new monetization program, and I don't know what their goal was, but I never really used AdSense Live. Only when they stopped telling people about my show did I do it, just to get them there. So here we go. This is the deal. With the attack of the bots, we had a lot of problems with that one. It was a real pain in the ass. The Star Trek stuff has become a real lodestone around my neck. It got me shadow banned. It got me a copyright warning that I didn't deserve that was reversed before it went any further. It also got me a community guidelines warning that was finally taken away, but it took months. And it's been a real drag with the Star Trek. But what I did was I tacked back, and I wasn't going to leave the Star Trek community alone. And Clownfish TV may have told you why people will not take on the real Star Trek community and will not do Star Trek in a meaningful way. Clownfish TV validated what I said, that the old Paramount was much more vindictive than Disney. If you go against Paramount, according to Clownfish TV, you'll get bot swarmed and you will have problems. The first bot swarm was designed to get between me and the AdSense, which I don't run live. I arm it, but I don't trigger it. It's the only way to get people to the show. After the show's live, it turns on its own. As far as the retaliation, if they mess up your show with hundreds of lurker bots, your AdSense is messed up and it may not come back and it may take weeks. So uploads can't be messed with. I make those because I lost thousands of views to that. Thousands of legitimate views to the bot swarming. And that's part of the channel's problem. And you know what? Thousands of legitimate views are wiped away with thousands of legitimate likes. You know what? It's just when the show is just destroyed by the bot swarm, it's destroyed. What happened was YouTube started getting better and better at detecting that kind of a swarm. And I call it YouTube weather, some of it. And we saw a similar storm hit Tony. It was designed to get between him and his AdSense. I think it was because he's heavily associated with people who are against new Star Trek. And I wonder if they won't broaden their thing. But ever since the last round, Section 31 didn't have any retaliation involved. The second generation of bot swarms were AI bots. YouTube could see through the lurking concurrence 1.0, lurking concurrence 1.2 are probably out now. I believe that lurking concurrence 1.1.1 are out there now, or 1.2 are out there now. So lurking engagement, they've found a way to deal with that after like 3 years. And this is a collateral warfare that goes on, right? After like 3 years, they figured out a way to deal with it. That's the lurker bot. Also, people with antiquated click bots can turn them into a weapon and do a lot better with that than they can boosting their show. It drains time away from your YouTube creativity because you have to tell YouTube that you didn't do it right away because it looks like you're trying to con them, especially if you're running AdSense and you arm it and you trigger it. I haven't triggered it. I was immune to the first attack, so they tried the second attack. The AI bots that just spammed me with things that people couldn't know yet. Before Section 31 was released, they spammed. Section 31 is real and it's amazing. Because I was on a rant about how I don't think it's going to happen. So the second set of the AI bots with the AI messages, they went after me on a message level and they tried to get between me and you guys on a conversational level. So what happened was I allowed you guys, asked me to do this, and it was a great bonding moment where we destroyed hundreds of them. And for hours there, I had 700-800 of them in my channel jail. And then the next thing happened was one thing led to another, and kablooey, all the people in my channel jail disappeared. That's because those AI bots were no longer useful or usable to the people who were sicking them on me. So we needed to get through those. It hasn't happened in a while. I can bestow them again in the next battle if there is one. And you guys really wanted to fight. The people who were the most bloodthirsty and the people who got caught in the crossfire, they got to keep their wrenches. And it was great. I think Rocco got a lot of people too, but I have so many wrenches. Rocco, if you come out here on it's Saturday, if you're around, man, if you want, watch an episode of Enterprise with us. This week would be ideal, but if not, another week, I'll DM two guys talking. Let me know what you want, or just DM me from either account. You can easily do it. We're still following each other. I'd love to have you on, but yeah, no problems lately, thank God. No news is good news. And you know what? By staying on just a little longer, we got some good views and got the show up to a decent amount. It takes a while for people to find out I'm live, and then we hit a comfortable number where everybody's happy. It was weird. It took the engagement a long time to kick in, and it got worse before it got better. It's just, that's the way it is. It's kind of a drag that people who have like 425 subs can game with like 30 people because there's just a group of people that network together. I have been kind of frozen out of networking, and it's because of this. There was a destructive fight at the beginning of my YouTube career. And what happened was this. It was aggressive, and it wasn't really me. The people who were responsible for the fight were kind of like, they were like, let's call them scions of more popular people, okay? There were scions of more popular people, and they came after me, and my choice was to fight to survive or die.
The Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions.
And so, like, when it came down to fight or die, what did I do? I decided that I wasn't going to go away and I wasn't going to be destroyed. But then the nonstop hectoring and pain in the ass stuff, I could have gone a criminal route. I had to waste money on a freaking lawyer. I never took it any further, but I was ready to take the hammer down. There is a real cybercrimes division that doesn't take this stuff lightly. So at the end of the day, the main antagonist destroyed relationships with people, and fucking Comic Relief Crusader still goes to every stream I go to and hassles the fuck out of me and then harasses the people who run the stream. He's been disavowed by the rest of the people. I'm not a big guy for screenshots, and I don't like naming names, but that's the problem that I've had at this channel, is non-stop harassment from him and his freaking ally down there, Time Travel Weasel. And I just want them to leave me the fuck alone. And you've been disavowed by the other people. Comic Relief Crusader lost 800 subscribers after attacking me, and they took it as a referendum to keep on attacking people and not leaving them alone. Just leave me alone! Your friends don't fucking back you anymore. You're a bully and a weirdo. Just stop it. Get a fucking hobby. Dick. Anyway, that's all there is for that. Let's see if we can't get out of here. It's 1:50. Let's see if I missed any of your chats. Yeah, the new direction. You know what? Right now, they're in so much danger of it going away that they're really pouring it on. Okay, what happened was thousands of new, like a couple of hundred unknown accounts with really AI sounding names like N137 and like Solo Star and like, you know, Han Forever and like Luke for like Ray, a lot of Kylos and stuff like that just swarmed in, and people in the attack who were there could just relate it. And it was like the arena battle in Attack of the Clones. It was like everybody just like cutting these bug people and their freaking snot minions and the robots apart. It was like us versus the battle droids. We went on and on and on. The battle went back and forth. And I was saying, you know, guys, it's just like it's the analytics gone. I don't care. And then I noticed that the analytic was normal. I was like, wow, these are a different kind of attack bot. It's a different kind of attack. So what they really do is they design attacks to get between you and your income. And yeah, my hand popped up during the lurker bots, but my hands aren't always free to stop those lurkers at a time. You say, hey, people, but I will contact you after checking my schedule. I'd love to have you on Saturday, but if not, let's get one set up. Or if you have a favorite episode of Enterprise, we'll bring you back for that one as a consolation. Rocco, I'm really glad I had a great X conversation with you. You're always really pleasant, and everyone on the panel would have a great time with you. It's a great show, and we have a lot of fun. Let's talk about it. I'd like to get some guests going. We've been going strong for 5 straight weeks with just the panel, and the panel's really gelled. So we're ready for some guests now once in a while. And let's see. There were too many. I took an idea early on in my career for Orville Nation, and it was a decent idea from him, and it worked for his channel. But Orville Nation, like, not streaming as much anymore, and it's just like people don't see anyone else with this setup, and it was looking weird and turning people off. He goes to every stream I go to, and he just like hassles me, and he questions everything I say, and he just like calls me a liar over and over and over. Everyone here saw him attack me in Tony's chat. If I give someone money and he's in the chat, he'll start attacking me for giving money. He has no couth about it. Stalks me from place to place, provoking me. The last 3 places I went, he went there and stayed there for a total of 6 hours. This is why I was looking for a job or whatever. It's freaking big worker. I have it in writing from your friends that they don't approve of your fucking punitive stalking. They're not going to back you. And if you embarrass them again, I'll show a screenshot. Fuck you. I'm tired of it. If he can act that horribly and still be on shows, so can I. No more Mr. Fucking Nice Guy. No more beating around the bush. I'm going to name and shame the people who fuck with me, and that's one. I will be allowed to do what I want when I want to, and I'm not going to be stalked by some fucking creep. And it's everything on every level. No, it's a different thing. But yeah, the other people and this bullshit that started last year and this war against my reputation, everyone else is tapped out. The ringleader has tapped out. They have given up on a lot of stuff, and they are not doing great on view counts, building and getting better since they stopped fucking with me. With a hidden hand. With a hidden hand. I was able to take the high road. When all you do is attack me over and over, you end up wasting your time and energy and looking bad. What did I do? Took days at a time off of X now, working on my editing projects, trying to get the channel up to a respectable content provider, trying to earn those memberships, and doing it for all of you, the 91 members of my community. A lot of you watch Jump in the Turnstile too. Watch it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's got music in it. It's different kind of member video than you've ever seen before, and it's only 3 minutes long. You'll probably find it enjoyable. I take you for a ride in the subway, and I take you for a walk around Queens. You get to see some shit. And you know what? it'll be enjoyable and it'll be worth your while if you watch it. I can promise you that. But no, he isn't here. He's a he right now. Who knows that fucking idiot? But honestly, that has been the problem right here, is that everyone else can go on and do these little networking appearances. But if you network with me, you have to be big and you have to be brave. So what happens? You know, I can't always be on Bolt the Words in Paradise, but he always supports me. I can't just always go on that show. But if people are going to take this scumbag who attacked me and published all of my private chats and took them out of context and started to try to get people like Stone Loki and other people stuck in the middle, getting them mixed up in it, lying and creating messages that were fake to throw in with the real ones, changing things, you know what? If that guy can do that and be, have the opportunities he has, what incentives does anybody have to act right? And he did that publicly, and he did it proudly, and he did it on X for everyone to see. So me to respond to it and say that a year of stalking me is enough? Fuck off, weirdo! Fuck off! Well, I'm not the one who lost 700 subscribers. I didn't lose any subscribers. This channel, he had 1,000 and I had 500 when it happened. Now I have 2,100 and he has 1,000. And he just said, wow, well, that just gets me back to where I was this time last year. Yeah, when you attacked people. And now it's a purchase from a bot salesman. And you can tell. And it's engagement bots 1.1. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. I'm not ashamed that I was attacked. I'm not ashamed that I made mistakes. And I've made my apologies. Am I sorry? Yes. Was I perfect? No. Is it like that in my group chat anymore? If you get 2 messages a week in there, it's a lot. I don't even really promote heavily in my own show chat. I learned my lesson. But I can look into other shows' chats and see some shit going on that's insane. And people who think their chats are secure, it's being leaked all over the freaking X by the same people who leaked mine. And yes, I mean that directly. When I'm reading in real time, people being told by a major figure on a major stream that everyone here loves that they are acting terrible and that they're embarrassing themselves and that they're going to be, and everyone's going to be disassociated from that if they don't change their ways. And then that didn't really hold up, but that's not really the fucking point, is it? That they acted so dishonorable over the fact that I had a successful couple of months and that I had a couple of good things going. They came to pop culture minefield again and again and again and overwhelmed their mods, dropping in stuff like my real name, trying to do fucking damage, making implications, dropping in parts of my identity. They never did the whole thing, but it was an intimidation thing. And now everybody says it's over. And I just got this one maniac who won't give it up. So just give it up, weirdo! Anyway, that's my show for tonight. I love you all. Little venting session. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with more quality entertainment. I'm not insane! I am not going to be bullied. If you're going to make a fool of yourself chasing me around so you can sabotage my YouTubing, I'll tell you what, you can do it in the light of day. All right? You want to start playing fucking games? I'm from New York! I have to get into open combat to get to work. You think that you're going to out social media fight me? I got a little thing going for me.
And a mechanical arm.
Exactly. I will tweet you into oblivion if you want to start some bullshit. Just leave me alone. All right, let's have Sydney Sweeney. You guys are great. I love you. Bye.